Welcome to the Dennis and Andy Show. This is a review in a few. Not a movie, though. Chris Rock's. I already got the.
Selective Outrage.
Selective Outrage.
Just like selective memory.
Right.
Only remembers things he wants.
I just watched it like an hour and a half ago. I finished it and I already forgot the title. Because I was blown away by the content. That's why. Chris Rock dropped it. It was on Saturday night. It was live on Netflix Saturday night. I would have watched it live, but I wasn't home.
I wasn't either, so I didn't get to watch it live.
Yeah.
But it was Netflix's first global live event ever. And boy, did the people tune in, because while it was going on, social media was blowing up. I mean, literally blowing up. I'm like, I wish I could be there to see it live.
Was it really? I didn't know any of that.
Oh, yes.
So here's the one thing I thought about. So you're right. This was Netflix's first foray into doing a live thing like this. HBO's done it before. All I know is Netflix must have backed up that money truck better than HBO did. Because there's no way there wasn't. I have no background on it, but I can't imagine a world where Chris Rock's agent was like, he wants to do this, he wants to do it live, and multiple places, HBO, maybe even Showtime, hell, maybe even Comedy Central. I just can't imagine it was only Netflix.
This could have been just an exclusive deal, or, it could have been because, it's been a year since the infamous Will Smith slap. And, it was very much like Batman slapping Robin. And to his credit, Chris Rock has been silent this entire time, dancing around the issue. And that said, to most of us, when it comes out, he's going to come out like Muhammad Ali and swinging. Boom, boom, boom. And that is exactly what he did. There was a large captive audience, and needless to say, I saw it after it had finished, but they immediately kept it up there for everybody to hop in and watch. It's still up there. It is absolutely worth watching. He came out swinging and no holds barred. I mean, he went after wokeism. He went after Meghan Markle. He went after, and he saved the best for last, the Will Smith stuff. He held nothing back.
It is funny because he made references to it. Like he did a joke about Michael Jackson and who's the new guy that just got sent up the river? R. Kelly.
Yes.
He made a joke about R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, and then at the end of the joke, he just tags it with, "I don't need to get another rapper mad at me." So you knew, and everybody knew going into this. I mean, that was the thing. It was kind of like a car accident, train wreck. Not the show, but the fact is, I got to see this because he is definitely going to bring it up.
And Chris Rock is such a good comedian. He does what all successful comedians do. Like Dave Chappelle. He sets everything up in the beginning. I don't need another rapper mad at me. He does it again. He did it multiple times throughout the show so that you knew the whole show would come around back to that. Oh, yeah. But even in the small segments, he would start off with something and then it would come back to it. And you'd be like, well, that's an interesting thing. I wonder where he's going with it. And then, the little light bulb comes on when you see where he's connecting everything.
Well, and that's what makes him so one of the best comedians out there is the craft of it, because I've done stand-up. It is not easy. It is a lot of work, a lot of writing. Just to give you an idea, for a tight 20-minute set, you could workshop that for almost 6 to 7 months just to get 20 minutes. And this was an hour.
Yes.
And what he's done is, and this is what a lot of comedians do, this is like the behind the scenes stuff, is they just go and they play clubs as they're workshopping it, and they'll either, I don't know if Chris Rock does this still, but I know Seinfeld used to, but they would go to these smaller clubs and do their show, and it would usually be recorded so they could look at it and go, okay, tighten this up. I need to tighten this up. Let's try swapping this word for this word, because one of the key things behind doing stand-up is the editing process, because you want to get it down to the bare minimum to get the joke and the point across. And he did it so well with all the topics he hit on. I mean, he went after Meghan Markle, which was just hilarious.
It's fun, with the different topics, the Meghan Markle stuff, and they're racist. I never knew. What? You didn't Google? They're the original racists.
They're the royal family.
They are the reason that the creation of colonization.
Right. They're the original colonizers.
So, we kicked around the idea, and, we thought about, do we get clips from it and start playing it? But honestly, we said, no, we're not going to. The reason is you need to watch the whole show from beginning to end in its entirety. I know some people will put clips and start getting pieces here, pieces there, and playing them for you. We're not going to do that because, you know what? You just need to watch it. Right. Everybody needs to see this. Now, I will say, it's not his outright funniest stand-up bit ever. I mean, I love Chris Rock, but he had a message, and he's upset, you could tell, with the way things are going on in the comic world, where you can't tell certain jokes now because it's all taboo, and you're going to come, and the critics are lambasting him right now. And of course, the normal public, everybody else kind of loves it, and that's what you expected. So he did what I think he set out to do.
Yeah, and in regards to the point of not his normal, stand-up type stuff, I'm on the fence on that one, because everybody, has their style.
Yes.
And it was his normal, to me, his normal style of stand-up and delivery, because even in his other stuff, he comes across kind of aggressive and stuff because he's passionate about the stuff. And, every joke he told, I was like, oh yeah, there's the setup. Boom, there's the punch. Oh, there's the setup. There's the punch. And it's funny because, when I tried it and when I was studying it, one of the things that you do is you try to think, okay, here's the setup. His punch is going to be this. And then you wait and see what his punch is and see if you're close or just totally far off. And, there were a couple that I was like, man, it was even simpler than his punch. And I can't remember the specific example from it, but there was one he said, and I thought to myself, this would be a great punchline for it. And what he actually said was so much simpler and to the point. And that's where the good editing comes in, because you don't want to be too complicated and stuff.
Yes.
And my thought, which was only a couple words, it wasn't like the punchline I thought of was like really long. It was just the way he, the words he chose were better.
Yes. Yeah, so. and he's been practicing.
Oh,
he had things he wanted to talk about, and he put them out, the racism thing. That's not racism. That is in-laws. And I was like, oh my God, we all know about the in-laws and stuff like that. It absolutely, because there was nothing he said on his stand-up that wasn't absolutely 100% true. It was funny, but it was absolutely true.
Right. So I would recommend it if you're a fan of, stand-up comedy, actually, and I know some people aren't. But if you're a fan of it, if you're a fan of Chris Rock, obviously you're going to watch it. You probably already have. If you haven't and you're on the fence, definitely watch it. And I will say, I wasn't home, like I said, Saturday night, so I couldn't watch it live. And then a part of me was like, I'll just get around to it when I get around to it. I didn't know anything, like Dennis said earlier, about social media blowing up when it was live, and I never really read anything about it and stuff. And I'll be honest, I didn't know if I was going to watch it. Not because I love stand-up. I like Chris Rock, but I've got like all these other things and stuff, and it was just like, adding something else to the list. And then Dennis watched it, and I said, and he was like, oh my God, it was awesome. And right then I'm like, all right, gotta watch it. So I did. So let's CGC rate this puppy.
Yep, our CGC rating, for those of you that are new, like a comic book rating, it's from 0.5 to a 10.0, which is a unicorn mint. I am going to grade this one a 9.0. I thought it was funny, but more importantly, it hit home in everything that he wanted to talk about. You don't have to agree with everything he says, and I don't. But that doesn't mean I don't respect and absolutely love what he did with us. So I thought it was fantastic. Like I said earlier, not his funniest bit ever, but it was still really funny, but super hard hitting. I absolutely recommend this. And if nothing else, even if you've never watched Chris Rock, give it a shot and just see, because it will be interesting to see your take. And I know I want you all to leave your comments down below.
There you go. I am also giving it a 9.0. I thought it was a great stand-up special. Same thing. It was very entertaining. The time flew by. It's only like an hour long. That's what most stand-up specials are. There were a couple things that just... I don't ever get annoyed at a stand-up comedian if they say a joke that is, say, from a different side of the aisle or whatever, because I can see the humor in it. So, you know, as an example, without even giving the joke away, he brought up the whole January 6th stuff at the Capitol. I saw the humor in it. I didn't necessarily agree with the point, but I got it. The way he set it up and delivered it, I thought was funny.
Yes.
So, kudos to Chris Rock. It's cool. I always look forward to seeing what he does. So,
and I feel a little sorry for Will Smith on this one, because
he tore him up so bad.
He tore him up. It's worth it. And then Will came out and apparently is saying he's a victim in all of this as of this morning. So
no way.
Yeah. So anyway, we will see how all of this plays out. But Chris, he did himself justice, and physically, you know, he even says he's small. He's not big like Will. But this is his way of fighting back, and I think you nailed it, man.
Yep, great job. Go check it out. Also, guys, Kor-Drath The Reckoning is live. Indiegogo, Kickstarter. Links are in the description below. Kor-Drath.com. Go read the first 8 pages there. This is one of the covers. It's the throwback cover, Homage and Conan #1, of course. I had to do that. We've got the artist edition book, oversized hardcover, spotlighting the beautiful black and white artwork. Beautiful, if I do say so myself, as the artist, for the whole story, so you can see it in its original form. We've got the Budroot t-shirt featuring the beautiful Lilith, the succubus, Kor-Drath beanie, so much good stuff. The game that Dennis is working on, so you can read the graphic novel and play the game. So if you're into role-playing, get on that. Guys, this has been another fun-filled review in a few. And we'll have another one up later this week once we decide. There are 3 movies we have to decide which one we want to see and review. And in fact, because this will be up before we go see a movie, the 3 options: Creed, 65, or Scream 6. Leave a comment on which one you might want us to review, and maybe we'll pick it for you guys. See you guys later.
Certified Badass.